Welcome, travelers, to the Dragonleaf, the tea house where tales are told. This is part 2 of our investigation into the McGurmick farm. We traveled to a soap-filled pond and met with the lady of the pond, Quaria, who explained that her mother has her claws into the McGurmick family. At Quaria's behest, we return as our favorite family, Candace? Fuck. As our favorite family jumps into a raging river to traverse to the McGurmick farm faster underground than Obi and Seelan can above it. If you like the content, feel free to leave a like in the tip jar and subscribe to our weekly tales. It helps us out a lot. Thank you so much for listening, and without further ado, it's time to open up shop.
Hello.
What?
Hey.
What'd I do? I didn't do nothing.
You didn't do it. You didn't even exist until right now. As we open up once more, smiles for the customers, everybody. And we cycle back in here. We look onwards towards this madness underground as the music fades away. More appropriate music fades in. Now, as you all jump into the water, first off, I need you to make an immediate dexterity check. You can use athletics if you wish here.
Do I get... JoJo's like holding me.
Yeah, do I get disadvantage or does Vincent get advantage?
You holding on to Vincent, you are proficient in athletics, right?
Yeah.
In that case, you do not have disadvantage, but Vincent, you also do not have disadvantage, basically. Both of you can make a straight check.
Would I've had disadvantage?
You would otherwise, unless you're proficient in athletics.
Okay, so like if you're
Strength or
not...
dex?
You can choose you can choose dexterity straight or athletics.
Okay.
Straight dex, cause holy shit, I suck. It's a save, yeah?
Would Matilda
No,
be
just ability
Just a check.
That's what I mean, like Matilda would be at disadvantage because Vincent would have been.
Matilda, do you have proficiency in athletics?
No.
Killian, do you have proficiency in athletics?
Nope.
Alrighty. Both of
I
you
do in
will be rolling
acrobatics,
this.
but...
Acrobatics in
worse.
this instance, not overly useful. Being pulled along in a rapid river.
Okay, so disadvantage. Here's my second roll.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Much worse.
Okay.
You and I
So-
are just like, bye!
Matilda and Killian. First off, as you find yourselves jumping into the water, it begins to carry you. And as the ground itself, relatively deep, between 15 to 20 feet, you see the stone underneath slowly give way until your entire body is being pulled by this water. And as the hill begins to steepen, your body begins to move faster and faster. Jojo, holding on to Vincent, the two of you continue to flow down as the water, you bob every now and then, larger gaps and falls through small waterfalls. You continue to navigate this area, attempting desperately to avoid the walls as you are moving through. It begins to serpentine. Killian and Matilda, as the water begins to serpentine, you attempt desperately to avoid the walls, but you slam into one side and then into the other as you are being carried. You are pulled slightly further away than the rest of the party, and you will begin this little excursion here. Can everybody see the map?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man, we should have all linked like otters.
Matilda, holding on as best you can. Both of you slam into the two walls. You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage, both.
I reach my hand out to kill it. To see if we can hold hands.
What skill would you like to use for this attempt?
Oh, no.
Run a blank? I can suggest.
Yeah, I'd like a suggestion.
If you would like, you can roll nature to attempt to find the water currents and move in a way that will get you to Killian. Because right now, the two of you, though 5 feet apart, you're having desperate trouble to maintain within each other.
I'm gonna do nature. Come on, Matilda, you can do it. I know you're not Killian with those crazy D20 that come out, but...
Yeah, that's not bad.
That's like Killian with those crazy D20s. You reach out and just awaiting this one little bit of rapid, you reach out a hand and grab onto Killian as the two of you fall over one small bump and bubble. And as we begin this encounter here, I'll have all of you roll initiative.
I just imagine you guys like clinging onto each other being like,
It's more like ah.
Instead of both of us being flung against both walls, because we're holding on to each other, one of us gets hit against one wall, and then the other person gets hit against the other wall.
It's just spinning. Love it. Matilda, initiative, please, and thank you.
I did. I rolled it.
Oh,
Oh,
there we
did you?
go. Yep, just showed up a little late.
10.1, beauty.
My temporary hit points go away, so I recast False Life on myself when I get a chance.
Okay, you can totally do that on your turn. Killian, at
Okay.
current, each of you move 5 feet directly south. Now, you see the wall approaching you, and you look around at everything that's currently happening. You and Matilda have linked arms. What do you do?
Mhm.
Ahead of you, you can see a branching pathway. 2 ways that you can possibly take. One to camera left and one to camera right.
I shout at Matilda, not like mean though, just like it's loud because it's rushing water. And I say, "Do you know which way we have to go?"
No!
And then I kind of like kirk my head around as best I can, and I shout, "We're going left!" Just behind me. I don't know if they're going to be able to hear me though.
We can see them though, kind of.
Is this the same stream that we walked up earlier this evening?
This is entirely underground.
Oh, okay, great.
A completely separate pathway that seems to have been carved out. Okay, Killian, you are traversing left. Currently, at the behest of the water, you guys will be moving at the beginning of every round, but you can take your action to be like, I try and stabilize myself, or I try and like push off the wall, or I cast a spell. Those kinds of things,
Gotcha.
if you want to attempt to navigate this rapid a little bit better. Do you wish
Okay.
to do anything with your action?
I guess the only thing I'll do with my action is just kind of like pull my buckler up beside me with the arm that isn't linking with Matilda. And if the wall comes at me, I'm just gonna try to make sure that the buckler is between me and the wall.
Sweet.
But nothing particular. I'm not casting any spells or using abilities.
All right, sweet. Vincent, you are up. Looking forward, you can see Killian and Matilda being carried by the breeze a little bit further ahead.
Looking down the different paths, because I can see the branch. Is there any markings? Like the mother would have left something? Like maybe she scraped the side, like there's claw marks. I don't know.
Roll perception.
$11.
11 perception. Because of Matilda's light looking along the wall as she is moving down, you look and you can in fact see deep claw marks similar to the ones that you had seen at the very beginning of this in the underneath cavern from the waterfall Quaria had taken you to. You see along the right side wall those claw marks continue.
I'm gonna shout out, go right, please. She's down that way. See the claw marks.
Like Killian kind of like looks around, is like, she's already done her turn, so she can't really help in that regard.
And Vincent, anything with your bonus action?
No, I can't really do it much.
I like that Vincent's chill, just like bobbing up and down these rapids.
Yeah,
being
JoJo's
like, "Go
doing
right."
most of the legwork, and he's just like, well, I already worked out this morning, so.
Matilda, you're up.
Alrighty. I will do target myself. Oh, spell. False. Nope. Where is it? Aha. Normal. False life.
Yikes.
You imbue yourself with this facsimile of life as the energy permeates and surrounds you. You gain this temporary buffer of longevity.
Cool. And then they tell me I heard that conversation between them, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah, I shouted it.
I pull them in the direction. I pull Killian in the direction of the claws, or like the wherever they told we're supposed to go.
Okay. Swimming at current is at half speed, and due to the rapids and dragging someone else, you can move 5 more feet to the right or down, your choice.
Yeah. I want to say to the right, just so that we're drifting in the correct angle.
You can have gone here or here. Did you want to go?
That works.
There? Beauty. So yeah, you kind of like just attempt to swim off to the side as you were being pulled through and away. And Jojo, you're up.
Jojo would like to reposition Vincent because it feels like we're gonna slam into this wall, right?
You go directly south, so it looks like Vincent would hit that wall.
Yeah, so she's gonna reposition it so that she trades places with Vincent. I can't move Vincent, so if you could shuffle us around. And she'd like to prepare like possibly an athletics check, I guess, she's gonna try and when she hits that wall, she's instead gonna try and like kick off of it and shoot towards the right.
Awesome. So you hold on to that as you are beginning to move. You spin Vincent around and you begin to hold into place. And at the beginning of the next round, Matilda, you roll a dexterity check as the water pulls you down into this rock jutting out. You attempt to break that hit and soften the blow.
Come on. Oh, fuck me, man.
Ooh, with a 3, as you are being pulled down along the rapids, I need you to also make a strength saving throw to see if you can maintain your grip on Killian.
Oh, guys, it's gonna go bad.
I like how your false life is just becoming your armor. It's great.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So you said a strength save?
Yes.
Oh, man.
You never know.
A 4.
Oh, no.
As you hold on to
guys!
Killian and you swim off to the side, you slam into this rock, and that little bit of energy still maintains on you as you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage. But you are launched to the right, and Killian continues south. Vincent and Jojo. Jojo, make that athletics check for me.
Nice.
Yeah, 23.
Actually, also, Killian, you can make a dexterity check to try and maintain on the pathway Matilda was going. 23. Jojo, you kick off that wall, and it... Oh.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah. You roll so many natural 20s, man.
It's
I'm so glad we're rolling digitally, because otherwise I'd be like, dude's lying. Dude's cheating, obviously.
Needs new dice.
Yeah.
These things are weighted.
I've loaded Killian's dice only. As you can actually have your pick of the litter here if you wanted to go left or right, following after Matilda.
Definitely right. Yeah.
All right, you manage to soften the blow, roll off and around, and continue along the pathway Matilda's going. Vincent and Jojo, you kick off, and you actually manage to get that little bit further, bobbing through with your solid athletics check, and you become that much closer to these two. Meanwhile, Killian, it is now your turn.
Am I able to relink with Matilda?
Absolutely. Is there a skill you would like to use for this?
Would sleight of hand work?
Sleight of hand is typically about obscuring a grab. Did you want to attempt to
sneakily grab Matilda
without her knowing?
I don't want the rapids to know, man.
Actually, no. Here, I tell you what. This actually does apply for a reason that I just thought about. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand.
Okay.
Maybe the rapids offer you. Oh no.
Oh boy.
Not great.
You do not manage to grab onto her. As you reach forward, you attempt to just use the quickness and swiftness of your fingers to grab on, but she slips out just barely beyond your reach.
All right. And I can move 5 feet additionally?
Yes.
Okay. I guess I will... I can't share a space with Matilda, right?
No, actually, because it's basically just difficult terrain right now. The rapids are pulling you. The 5 feet before was just to rearrange you guys for the beginning of this movement.
Okay.
And if you're holding on to someone else, it makes it 3 times. So your difficult terrain basically cuts you down to 5.
Okay. Gotcha. So I'm not holding on to anyone. I would be able to move like 15?
Yeah, half your total movement.
Okay. Then I'll swim closer towards the right side.
Alrighty.
That is I.
You see the wall to the south, and as you and Matilda are being held, you ascertain you're probably going to slam into that, but Matilda will hit you. Vincent, you are up.
He's gonna pull him and Jojo this way, just by like swimming a little bit. And can you take the dodge action to try and brace himself in case they slam against anything?
Absolutely.
It'll do that.
That's smart.
So you can hold an action to try and like break off a wall. That basically would be the dodge in this case. Do you want to use athletics or acrobatics for that? Because kicking off a wall, I think, could be acrobatics.
It's more like if we end up slamming into something, he wants to like make it so that it hits him in a less painful way. I don't think he has the strength to be able to propel him and Jojo off something.
Beauty. Also, just a little bit of an addendum. You would need to be proficient in acrobatics to use that. But not to swim, just if you're going to interact with an object. If that makes sense to everyone. But you prepare as the rapids continue to pull you south. You almost scrape against the walls on the side, but you are not being hit. Matilda, you are currently moving south aggressively.
Okay.
Killian has interposed themselves between you and the wall.
Okay. So we're wanting to move this way, yeah? 1, 2, 3. And then I'm gonna use my action to look for any markings on the wall, or just to see if there's anything we need to look out for. Yeah, that's what I'm doing for my action.
Okay, go ahead and roll perception for me. In this instance, you have disadvantage because beyond the radius of your light, things extend out into darkness. 13. Looking at the wall, you do see those scrapes continue. They kind of abate for a brief moment before just at the edge of your visual range right here, you see them start up again, carrying as far past your vision. So it is along the right side wall, and it seems to keep going past it.
Okay. And then I shout out, "Keep right!"
Jojo, you hear this called out.
Mm-hmm. All right, Jojo's going to try and shuffle over with her movement. And what do I want to do? I've already used athletics, so I can't use it again, right?
No, you totally can. This isn't really a skill challenge.
Oh, okay. I guess I would just like to move us forward a bit. I don't like how far Matilda and Killian are, so I'll drag Vincent with me. This is difficult terrain, right? Or is it even worse than that?
Because you have proficiency in athletics, you are only hindered by the movement of Vincent, so you can move half your total speed 15 while holding.
Okay, so I'll go here then. And yeah, once again, I'm gonna try and push off this stone to try and get like a trajectory this way a little bit.
Okay, you can totally roll that athletics now. As you grind up against it, you ready your feet. You kick off a little bit, but all you manage to do is shuffle yourself off to the side, and you kind of like hit onto the side of this wall, just like a graze across your shoulder. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the next round, Killian, dexterity check, please. Athletics or acrobatics if you are proficient. Matilda.
I am proficient in acrobatics, so I'll do that.
Matilda, dexterity, athletics or acrobatics if you are proficient. As you fling down, you slam into a small rock. Let's see whether or not you manage to avoid that. Oh no! Killian, as you slam into the back of this rock, you take the solid 2 points of bludgeoning damage. Jojo, you fling south and you slam into Killian, causing 1 more point of bludgeoning damage to Killian. Vincent, you fling south, and Jojo, I need an athletics check to see if you can hold on to Vincent while taking this damage.
Can I aid her in any way? Like by also trying to hold on?
You can use your reaction if you wish here. Then your dodge will be used for that. Your choice.
So did I take a point of damage, or did Killian?
Killian took 1 more point of damage.
Okay.
And you're yeah, that's true. You would both take 1 point of damage here.
Okay, cool.
And Vincent is giving you help, so you can go ahead and roll one more d20 for that athletics check.
Ugh.
Ooh, same. 5.
Oh, same. Yeah.
My dex save was a 16.
16. Excellent. You manage to scoff off the side of the rock and dodge out of the way. No problem. You take no damage and you continue 10 more feet. There's another rock ahead of you. Killian, as you take that damage, you continue along the side of the stone as Jojo slams into you. Jojo, you are carried through as well. Vincent, I need you to roll. Actually, I need to roll this for you. As Jojo lets go, in the direct middle, you begin to veer off to the left. You slam into the wall below. Go ahead and
Is there any way I could have used the rock? I guess I used my reaction to try and hold on to her.
The basic trajectory, because you were here at the time, is that you hit this one and then moved down. Boop, 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 like that. So dexterity, athletics, or acrobatics if you are proficient.
Okay. Just to make sure, the dodge action that I held there, so I had to use my reaction to be able to use the dodge.
You used your reaction.
The dodge just gives you advantage on dexterity saving throws.
What happened was you instead used your reaction to help Jojo, giving her advantage on her check to hold on to you.
So I still have dodge though.
No, you have to use your reaction to activate a held action.
Is dodge a held action?
Dodge is not a held action.
Dodge is not a held action. You're right. I'm dumb. So you.
Yeah.
Okay, I see where the confusion was. My bad. Yes, you may go ahead and roll this. But that's dexterity saving throws.
Oh, I didn't
This
know
is
if
an
it was or
ability
not. Okay.
Okay, so because I let you do that, and I wasn't thinking about that at the time, you can absolutely have advantage on this.
What am I? So just a dex check?
Yeah, totally, with advantage. Rules.
Oh,
God damn.
no.
Okay, you wanted to keep to the right, am I right?
Yeah.
As you're flinging down, Jojo loses track on the Whitewater Rapids. You maintaining your calm are just like, and scene. As you shuffle off to the other side and carry with the water, you don't hit the rock. You manage to carry through and you're behind Jojo.
There's
He's like, I am the water.
Yeah,
You swear you.
I just dance eloquently through the water. There's like fucking twinkle stars and god rays coming in through cracks in the wall. It's
As you see those twinkle stars, Jojo, in your faint vision, you know that really reminds you of Jaeger. But as the final, as the final rose dissipates from above his head, the vision and this strange feeling of yearning within you dissipates fully, and you can finally focus on this fucking Whitewater Rapids.
What the fuck? What the fuck, Jaeger?
You just
Who knows?
scream that out.
Aw, you need to go on a date with Jaeger.
No, she did before. Now she doesn't have to care at all. As the final rose wilts. At the beginning of the next round, Killian, the rest of the party has caught up to you, and you are looking now. Matilda yelled out to keep to the right.
All right. I'm going to very briefly just like make a grabbing motion with my hand while casting a spell. It doesn't require material, so I don't need to use my tools. And a invisible hand grabs me by the scuff of my shirt and armor and starts kind of just putting 10 pounds worth of force to drag me one way. I don't know if that's going to help, but that's what Killian would do. And then she's going to try to swim further to the right.
Okay. How I will say that happens, I want you to roll a spellcasting ability modifier check to see how much extra movement you get from your mage hand pulling you.
Where do I do that? I guess it would just be...
Yeah.
I'll just do
Artificer's
ability check.
Intelligence, I believe.
Just be an in check, yeah.
Boom.
Beauty, 20. You gain an additional 10 feet of movement on this turn. So
All right.
where do you want your mage hand to pull you?
Well, I suddenly appear to only be able to see my mage hand and a black screen.
Oh, sorry. I think that's because your mage hand became selected. If you click Killian again, does it switch back over
there
to you?
it is. Okay, perfect. All right, so I have 15 feet of movement then this turn. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and kind of scrape the edge of that, and then 5.
Okay. This hand is just guiding you through the water, helping with that little bit of a 10-pound boost. You're making your way off to the right, and in the distance, you can now see a pathway through this just faint bit of foliage that actually seems to be slowly filling in as you all begin to approach it, almost in an attempt to obscure the path from you.
Does it seem to be less deep over here because there's like rocks and stuff there, or is that just for show?
Down in the bottom, just past the surface, you can see those stones that are jutting up. There are sections where these rocks are there, but at current, they're like 15, 20 feet below you yet still.
I just shout out, it's trying to hide. It's over here.
And Vincent, you're up.
Vincent is going to do another perception check around. Like, Killian mentioned something's trying to hide, but he's trying to see if he can notice any more markings and what way is the correct way.
In this instance, you can choose. You can make a perception check to attempt to see what that which you know and can perceive, or you can make an investigation check to attempt to see if there's something hidden from your view.
Is it? There's no way I could make like a gut check with it, like a wisdom investigation, right?
You want to make wisdom investigation?
Yeah.
I think I'm cool with that.
Cool.
Roll gut.
Yeah, roll gut.
Another nat 20.
You got a gut on you.
You guys, yeah, look at that gut, that huge gut on him. Such gut.
Vincent is just like
All instinct.
on, like, yeah, he's in full battle mode.
Vincent is fucking on point. Killian is on point. Matilda is on point. Jojo, on point. As you guys all, I'm not gonna be mean. I'm just telling it like it is. As you look around, you actually manage to spot this faint glow to the south, in the direction where Killian is. Right about here, you see a small creature that is floating above the water, hands moving as though attempting to stitch together those pieces of foliage before you. And what you see is this. Small little pixie, a little sprite, is attempting to enclose the passage that you guys are currently traversing.
Is
She
it
does
this
not
one,
seem to
or
have
is,
noticed
is
that
there
you-
like a secret one here?
It's here. Is it invisible?
No, I can see the pixie.
Okay.
I'm saying
No,
the
she is attempting to close this passageway.
okay. I'll look towards the group and be like, it seems to be some sort of moth fairy creature there. I think Killian's onto something. Head in that direction.
As you say this, she looks at you immediately, and then down at her own body, and then towards you with surprise. And then
And
anything with your bonus?
Vincent will just smirk and be like, "You can't hide from me." And he hasn't moved yet either, so he'll move forward. 10. I'll move here. I can't use my bonus to grab onto Jojo, right?
You can just grab onto Jojo if you want.
Yeah,
No, actually, you will need to use an ability check to attempt to do so.
Then I'll just chill here.
Meanwhile, Matilda, you are looking at that stone as you are rushing towards it.
Okay, do I see little fairy?
No. Vincent has said that there is a creature somewhere within the area.
Okay.
As he yells out, like, you understand that there's something here. It's still shrouded to you, unless you use your action to investigate.
Okay. I do want to move. I have a question about diagonal movement. Does it, if I move 3 diagonal spaces, I know that before it used to mean that I used more movement than I thought I did, right? Because if you
For
Every
every
move-
second diagonal, it's double movement.
Okay.
Which does appropriate in Foundry.
1, 2, 3. Then I move 15 feet. Can I
That's 20
see the?
feet. 2 diagonals is 15, yeah.
But the first one's only 5, right?
Yeah.
5 and then 15. Because it's 5 and then 10 for the
Ah, yeah,
second
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I confused myself. So do I see the path that's getting blocked?
You do. It is not yet closed fully.
Okay, I want to Eldritch Blast the plants.
Okay.
Or
You
like
can't,
that are
you can't
blocking the
harm.
path.
You can't harm objects with Eldritch Blast. You can use Firebolt though.
Okay, I'll use Firebolt then.
Alrighty.
But
Go ahead
plants
and
are
make
living creatures.
That's what I
Ooh.
mean. It makes
Matilda
sense.
loves living creatures.
I love when they're dead.
I love that they can die. Go ahead and
Yes.
roll an attack roll. This will just be an AC of 10 to see if you can slam into those plants. Oh my god, you guys. Natural 20. Tell you what, you pull back in
Let's
between
waste
the
all these
bobs.
20s now and then TPK to the boss, guys.
Yeah.
Fuck those ferns.
I feel
Natural
like
20.
I feel this is the 4th nat 20 like in a row. This is crazy.
There was a dirty 20 in there, but yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. As you charge back, unleash that flaming blast, it slams into the foliage and tears it apart beyond recognition as the pixie's just like, fucking bitch! Just begins to.
Did it say that in Sylvan?
No, it screamed it out in common, actually. And then as you move, anything with your bonus action?
No. I can't
Alright.
really do anything.
Jojo, you're up.
Okay, JoJo's gonna use her action to try and grab onto Vincent again.
Okay.
Is that just athletics?
Athletics, yeah. Because you are not currently holding on to Vincent and you have proficiency, you are. Yeah, this is a straight roll.
30-20.
Very 20. You grab
Another
Vincent, and with
20.
that, you can also shuffle 5 feet for free in this action.
Ooh, yay. Okay, and then I'll take another 5 feet down with Vincent. Also, if you can move Vincent
Yep.
down here. Thank you. And then I'll do to the diagonal. Yes, thank you. And then there's a mage hand there. I'll stay here, I think, for my movement. Yeah. Actually, I myself will just shuffle this way. If I'm not moving Vincent, but I'm still grappled onto them, do I have...
think you got 5 feet of free movement, and then 5, 10, 15. So you can make it there. That's fine.
Okay.
Alrighty. And
Hi.
so you let go of Vincent and continue down?
No. I'm still holding on to Vincent. I just wanted to shuffle myself, but not move Vincent. So I didn't know if that was
Okay,
also
perfect.
taking double movement.
You're all good. Just confirming. At the end of this, I will say this. You guys have successfully navigated this area. As you begin to move, the water funnels in towards this hidden section on the right, and you all get...
Can I do one
down that
thing, though?
pathway. You absolutely
Vincent would like
may.
to target the pixie because he thinks, it swore at him and it was trying to like fuck.
It's
over.
war.
Not that he cares about, that, but it's just the fact that it seems to be against them. He's like to cast a vicious mockery at it.
Vicious mockery at the pixie? Okay.
Yeah.
So that is
Uh-oh.
a... What manner of saving throw is that again? Wisdom?
Yes.
It's
DC 13
four?
wisdom.
As you let loose this insult into the open air, you can see in your dark vision just a single pixie middle finger round the corner as it disappears out of sight.
Oh, it didn't work.
Rather magical creatures, these pixies. As you all reappear at the base, the light begins to permeate out. As you look south, you see the water funneling down and the vicious steam pouring out. My word for the day is vicious. As the steam pours up and through the area, the heat becomes unbearable. As you see beyond a dip into a small river of liquid magma.
How? This doesn't. Does
That's
this
a
make
fair question.
Matilda?
Matilda,
Is this
you're over here.
is this natural?
There, and Killian, you are here. At current, as you guys are all flying south, Jojo, roll intelligence.
Do we feel the heat, or is it more like we just see it?
The further down you came this area, like the river widened out
Oh,
quite a bit,
5.
so you were no longer in danger of the wall. But as you were flinging south and Jojo looking around,
I was right. That was
you,
a saving throw. It's the same either way.
you are just hectically looking down and seeing this magma river. You see a broken boat off to the side that has seemingly been like tied up to the side of the wall, And as you are all looking down, you see this magma river that is now immediately in your pathway. What do you do?
Well,
Beginning
shit.
of this round, Killian, you are up.
We're still getting pulled by the water.
The water is continuing all the way down until it hits that magma in a small waterfall down.
All right, I'm gonna do another ability check, or a spellcasting ability check, to try to drag myself away from the heat and towards the boat.
Towards the boat? Okay. Go ahead and
Yeah.
roll a intelligence check. 9.
Ooh.
The hand grabs you and tries to push, but the rapids are just too much. You only have your regular movement. And as a bonus action, you move the mage hand with you?
Yes.
Alrighty. It's shuffling along next to you. And Vincent, you see Killian making their way towards the boat.
Yeah, I see this happening. Vincent, this is a long shot. Vincent has walloping arrows, which usually are enough to like knock a creature prone. Can you try to just like spin around and shoot one at the boat to dislodge it so it like makes a bridge over top of the...
Love that idea. Go ahead and make a ranged attack roll. You're trying to hit a small bit of mooring, so this will be AC 14.
Do I have anything that can assist me? Can I... No, I feel like, can I unsettling words? That's not gonna work. Yeah, I don't think I have anything to help me.
You got this.
Train looks real scared.
What's another nat 20, you know?
Yeah, what's one more?
Okay,
I'm seeing some 9s and 5s. I'm happy about this.
So I just a straight hit.
That boat, choo choo.
Oh no!
Oh,
Is that also adding your proficiency?
yeah, 2 from Dex, 2 from proficiency.
You
Does
lose
anyone
that
have
wall.
inspiration?
The bard is like, is anyone inspired?
No, this is the player asking this.
No, I
someone-
don't think I've had inspiration this campaign.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
neither.
inspiration is a rare beast in this campaign because you guys are just too on point. You're too good.
Do
You should
I
blame
feel like
yourselves.
those dual nat 20s were inspiring from before?
With the amount of,
Actually,
I'll tell
I-
you what. Everybody roll a group
Fate die.
fate dice. If you beat an average of 14, which was the AC, I will give you all an inspiration point.
I rolled a 13.
13, 17, 3.
A
Matilda?
17.
What?
17 is good.
Oh,
No!
Let me calculator because I suck.
I'm pretty
Actually,
sure
no,
that's
that's
no.
that's 30, 36 divided by 4.
no.
Oh, neat. That does work. I can roll a just proper math equation. Defender. Nice. You loose that arrow, flies in, hits the side of the wall, bursts. You see a large chunk of the boat blast off and fly away, landing in the water and slowly falling as it hits the lava underneath. Aggressively, just immediately bursts into flame. But the boat, as it slowly kind of now begins to boom, boom, slam against the side of the wall, has not dislodged.
Just ignore that I'm consuming the resource.
Wonderful. Anything with your movement and bonus action?
Yeah, I'm holding on to JoJo. Could I drag her here?
Yep. You both shuffle 5 feet off to the side. Matilda, it is your turn.
I'm gonna look around like I did before because I understand it. Like I've seen the markings multiple times. I'm trying to see if there is any like markings or anything that looks like a way to go up or down. If
Okay.
there looks like you could go underneath or you need to go over top.
Go ahead and roll perception for me.
Could I use my turn, which is immediately after hers, to give her the help action for this? I am proficient in perception.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm cool with that. This is kind of freeform, so I'm happy with that. So you can have advantage on this. Perfect.
Nice.
Dirty 20. You see those claw marks continue down this pathway and enter into a small area off to the side. As you glance over towards this fallen stone here, It actually reminds you of somewhere that Jojo had previously mentioned, the bottom of the well. As these fallen rocks, seemingly placed intentionally in this area, the claw marks continue around that edge.
So on the rock or like up on the side?
Actually, I have just a little drawing tool. I can do this. They basically go this way, along the edge of the wall.
Okay, and then I'm gonna move to the right. And 5, 10. So 5, 10, 15, and I'm at the wall, baby.
As you approach the wall, holding on to the stones, you can feel the water like pulling off to the side. There is a tiny little vortex underneath here that, as you do not feel the pull as aggressively as you hold onto this stone wall, and as you begin to hold on to the stones, they're like loose from this side. Jojo, previously when you were on the inside of that, they seemed pretty rigid, pretty solid. From this side, it seems pretty loose, Matilda, as far as you can tell. So use your action. Anything with your bonus?
I said for my bonus, I just said they're loose. That's it.
And Jojo, you are up.
Okay. Oh, we're in a pickle here.
Well,
I think.
Yeah.
Say
you used your action for the help, but aside from that.
Yes, I did.
Yes.
I will use my movement though to drag Vincent back a little.
Vincent, do you contest that movement?
No, I don't think Matilda told us about this.
Yeah, she did.
No, I shouted
She
it
just
out
yelled,
loud.
"They're loose!" Yeah.
I said,
grabbed
I
onto the rock.
said to the right.
To the
These
right.
rocks are loose.
Yeah,
Okay.
rocks are loose.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to resist. But we can do this.
Alrighty, Jojo, you have 10 more feet of movement.
I think I want to do another up diagonal, like here, but I think that's off map, right?
Yeah, that's like upriver. The current is currently pulling you down aggressively.
Yeah.
As you manage to shuffle. Actually, you shouldn't even have been able to go up diagonally like that. You would have just gone horizontally.
I can't go up at all even if I use
No,
like.
the water's like, or allow you to roll an athletics check if you want to attempt to fight against the river's current.
I did use my action.
This
already,
would be
so.
part of movement. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah. 16. You do manage to get up that one.
Okay,
But going
cool.
up further is too difficult to manage.
Okay, well then I'll do another 2 to the right then. That's my full movement, right? To go this way?
That's 15.
Okay. That's my turn.
Alrighty. At the beginning of the next round, Killian, dexterity check to attempt to grab onto this boat if you wish, as you are passing it by.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Reaching over for the boat as it's bouncing back and forth. Do not manage to hit it. And you reach here. As the 30 feet come down, you slam into the side of the rock. And as you are looking, you see the lava right at the edge of your feet. But that is the next round upon which anything might happen. As you continue down south, Vincent and Jojo, you can both make a dexterity. I'm sorry. Just to go back, Killian, you can also make an athletics or acrobatics check to attempt to grab that. If one of those would be better, you can choose to do that. I'll wrap
Acrobatics. Yeah, let's do
acrobatics. Okay, go ahead and roll acrobatics.
Yeah.
That's worse.
Oh no.
I'm sorry to say. Those 20s, you used them. That's what you did.
Use them all.
Okay, so you went south. Vincent and Jojo. Athletics, acrobatics, or dexterity if you want to attempt to grab onto this rock. Both of you can grab onto that rock if you so choose.
20.
I just realized I would have gotten advantage on dex saves. Is it better to do an advantage with +1 or just a straight roll with +4? Probably advantage, huh?
Probably a bit
Advantage
more.
is an average of +5.
Yeah. Okay.
And you have the option for a 20.
Next time.
Okay. And Matilda, you are currently clutched onto the rocks. I need you just to make a strength check to see if you can stay in that little vortex bubble. It's not an overly difficult check.
Not a saving throw. Checks.
Come on, you got it.
Just want me to do a saving throw.
Oh my god, Killian, you're freaking me out here. Come on.
Lava hurts. I'll just say that.
Thanks, Adrian.
Lava hurts, guys.
You are
7. You literally
in water.
just succeed. You can
Okay.
feel
Oh,
your
no.
grip loosening on these stones, but you are holding on. Managed to hold on heartily. Now, Killian, this will likely be the last round of this. You are moving south in an aggressive speed. You are
Yep.
currently nestled in this very small alcove of stone, and you are looking down towards the lava only a few feet before you. What do you do?
Still getting pulled pretty heftily, huh?
The water is slamming into you.
Okay. How is this like? Does the lava go like up, or is it just like a little bit of lava and then ground?
It's like a little bit of water. Water falls down, and then there's lava coating the bottom about 10 feet below.
There's a
Gotcha.
gap, basically.
And then there's
And
a
this
gap.
is a gap. Is this stone the same level as the water?
It is.
To him,
Okay.
jump.
Well, then I'm going to grab. Let's see. I'm just double checking my equipment to see what I have on me.
Oh, my 25-foot pole. I forgot about that. I'll just plug that down and badoop.
You possibly might have a grappling hook, depending on what pack you have.
Yeah, I don't. All right. Well,
As a player, do you want me to give you some advice? This is for something cool.
I mean, sure. There's no guarantee I'll take it.
So you have bolts, crossbow. You could use them as leverage to jam it into the wall to hold it on. So
That
could
is
be
true.
something.
That is true. I also have a hammer, so I think if I rotate it around and like hammer into the
Yeah,
wall,
that'll work
that-
too. It's
that
like an
could
ice
also
pick.
work. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think. Would it be an action to try to pick myself into the wall when I get there, or could I use my action to try to mage hand myself a little bit more oomph to get over the gap, and then it would just be like a reaction to like climb on.
You could mage hand over the and then use the hammer to like. It's like those ice climbers that have to jump and slam into
Yeah,
the ice
that,
pick.
that's
Oh.
essentially what I'm trying to do.
So you
Vincent,
want...
can you inspire him?
If I didn't use my bonus action, I could, but that's Adrian.
I am fine with the freeform nature of that. You can like pluck at a bardic inspiration if you wish. So, Killian, here's what's going to happen. As
Yeah.
the water is pulling you, you are preparing for the water to take you, using your mage hand to give you that little bit of a push, and then slamming the ice pick into the side of the wall in an attempt to just hold yourself in place and climb up after. Ooh, that's fucking awesome. So, no, you can't do that. I suck. You can absolutely prepare for that. And
Okay.
as at the beginning of the next round, that will be going down.
Okay.
Vincent,
Uh,
you wish to give Killian a bardic inspiration in this instance?
yeah. So Vincent, just he's basically on this rock now. He feels pretty like safe here. And he looks over and he sees Killian just like heading towards lava, and he's just like, "I need you." And then he'll shout out, "Killian, you got this. Just jump."
Be
Oh, that was
Okay.
cute. I need you. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Vincent Hart.
It's
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the charmed condition for a moment, just for that. Wonderful. So you pluck your string. You are currently held onto this stone. That was your bonus action. Anything with your action?
I'm gonna go movement wise here.
I will need an athletics check to attempt to go vertical.
Against screen. Can I like crawl up onto the rock?
Oh, yeah, you totally can actually.
Okay.
You actively kind of get up there. It's precarious and the water's slamming, but you manage to get up.
Okay. I will actually stay here. As my action, I'm going to aid Jojo. He'll reach out his hand and be like, "Fling me into the wall. I can't jump this."
Okay.
We're like Matilda. I'll point towards
Matilda, can you pull the rocks out?
I will try. It probably won't go very well. I will still
No.
try.
Wait, better idea. Sorry, scrap that. Action. Vincent's gonna take one of his walloping arrows and shoot the wall. Try and bust it open.
Ooh. Go ahead and make
Careful.
an attack roll. This is from this distance, AC 5. Just need above a 5 on this attack roll.
The least I can roll is 5. So
You
Even
loose
if
the arrow. The walloping arrow, you pull back, you let it loose. The stones blast backwards. Matilda, he aimed off to the side, so you are not currently in the blast range.
Yeah,
And
I
as the
would
stones
aim.
fall away, you see a pathway leading into a dry well bed. And a column leading upwards. The light begins to stream out. Actually, it's like pretty late into the night, so no light is streaming out of this well at the moment. And as the explosion rings out through the well's surface and out into the open air, that is your turn. Matilda, you're up.
There's not very much I can do to help Killian at this point, unfortunately. Too far away. And unless I want to guiding bolt you, I don't think that that's not
I think
gonna.
this would help.
No.
Shot from behind.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll go here, and I'll go here, and I'll put my hand out to try to be helpful to get people into the well.
Awesome.
That's it.
Jojo.
I have an idea. It's just really stupid, but I love it. Actually,
Do it!
Jojo wants to yell at Killian and sort of be like a coach, and I don't know if I want to do intimidation for this. I think I do. I'm just like,
Do good!
"What? Don't fail. You can do it. Get your ass up, Hines. Let me see it." Something like that. He said I do the help action. He
Awesome.
said,
I absolutely love that.
oh my goodness. It's a normal intimidation. Come on. Yeah, it's 20. It's 20.
Jojo turns towards you and says, "Don't let your dreams be dreams," and begins to scream at you as you basically are just like, you feel the fear of death come in and the adrenaline begins to pump
You're
through
not
your veins.
weak. Don't be weak. You're strong.
I tell you this, Killian, go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh,
Okay.
uh-oh, what?
Don't have the
Yeah.
fear condition. This is an inspiring fear.
Here's the question: do I bardic inspire this roll or the next roll?
I feel
I
like
would
next roll,
say
the
the
next
next
roll.
one is the
Next
roll.
The 7, okay.
12.
A 12?
Oh, 12.
Where this scene is the most terrifying shit you have ever experienced in your entire life. You can feel the heat, the bubbling of the lava beneath, the flaming wood that was splintered off of the boat that's boom, 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 slamming against the wall behind you. There is a crooked smile that moves across your face, one that you might not even be familiar with, as these like just heart-pounding instincts, your eyes dilate, and that little
Yeah,
bit
boom,
of
boom.
the
Boom,
goblin
boom.
within you begins to tear into like the excitement of this. And it becomes, it's a little bit enticing as it begins to pull through you. Jojo, at the end of your turn, do you move or
No, I'm gonna stay here and cheer on or yell at Killian is my whole turn.
But Vincent, you are currently safe, standing up top. Jojo, you are held onto the rock, you are safe. Matilda is prepared to hold on to everyone. And Killian, the time has come. As the water
Right.
begins to move, you have advantage on this. You can roll on this one. This is an athletics check, true and true. As you need
Okay.
to hold yourself onto the side of the rock using nothing but a small hammer and climb yourself up the edge of this sheer cliff.
This is the
And
wildest.
bardic inspiration.
You fling down, you let the water take you. You have bardic inspiration and advantage on this.
All
I
right.
can make the jump.
Yeah.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
You did not roll with advantage.
Roll with
Did I
advantage.
not?
That was no, you just rolled a 14.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Come on.
14.
Oh no!
14 is better.
The first one
14 is
was so
better.
much better.
No, that's a 14, do you?
I will say, I fumble with my tool belt and I probably drop a couple of things as I'm flying through the air, but I grab the punch hammer, which is meant for denting holes in hard objects. I don't know if that helps at all. It probably doesn't, but just for flavor-wise, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think that would have given you advantage, which was already there.
Yeah.
So here's
okay.
what I'm going to say, Killian. As the water takes you, you are pushed. The mage hand behind you slams into your back and pushes you that little bit of extra feet. As you are holding on, make an intelligence check using your spellcasting ability modifier to see if you get that additional push from your mage hand.
Okay.
I need this one's difficult. This is not going to be easy. If you fail this check, then you will hit the lava. You will take the damage, and if you survive the damage, you can climb up with your 14. 12. The mage hand pushes you. You find the stone. Plant your hammer in. Your feet dangle down, slamming into the lava below. As the heat immediately begins to burn, the soles of your shoes, gone. Your shoes, destroyed. The pants begin to catch and alight, and you feel that magma begin to burn into your feet. You take half damage. You have resistance to this 10d10 fire damage. If you survive this, that's lava. If you survive this, you climb to the top. And if you don't, you fall into the lava. That is a grand total of 42 points of fire damage, halved to 21.
I'm still up.
Of a total 100,
What?
Killian grabs on and climbs up to the top, singed and just burning. You put out the fire as you hold on to the stone, and you have managed to make it.
Jojo's losing it. He's like,
Last episode, Adrian said to stick your feet in the fire. I don't think we meant to take that
oh
literally.
my god.
Well,
Or do. We don't know your preferences, right?
That's true, yeah. Well, I am still a fan of, even if it's your fetish, don't burn your legs off. That's the thing I live by.
I suggested the name the burn unit for the last for party names. I think that could have worked real well. Now,
Too real
think-
now, yeah.
Vincent like overseeing this and then seeing Killian just like get doused in lava and then just and then flop over on the side, just kind of smirks towards her and gives her a smile.
I'm not even like looking. I just like put a little thumbs up.
The anti-Terminator.
I love that.
Just out of character question thing, Vincent doesn't know about the well, does he? Or because we've had a couple hours to chit chat between when
Matilda and Jojo are the only ones who are aware of the well.
Yeah, but like I was hanging out with Jojo before Heb made the noises. Would you have mentioned you fell down the well?
I guess it didn't come up. If you want to ask it now, I feel like you guys know where this is going.
I think narratively, because there were a few hours, you guys can just decide if you shared all the information.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't have hidden it.
Alrighty. Then at this point, as the round circles around, Vincent, you are on the stone, so you are okay. As the movement continues, Matilda, you were holding your hand out. Jojo, I need one more athletics check to hold on to the rock so you do not get swept away.
I imagine you would have been like, there's a welt on your forehead.
20, nice.
Hey!
Natural 20. Holding on to the rock. You can actually boost yourself off the rock and get to Matilda safely with that natural 20.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she does that.
Matilda is safe. Matilda, you grab onto Jojo, pull Jojo up. You are both safe. Vincent, you are on the stone.
Oh, I was supposed to throw.
Oh, that's right.
Vincent.
So you
Could
probably wouldn't
I
have done
have done that with the natural 20 instead?
that. Here's what I'm going to say.
He's fine to stay here for now. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I will say this. If you want to use your nat 20, you can both have advantage on the next check to attempt to get out of here.
I'll do that.
Okay. So, Vincent, it is your turn. As Jojo holds on, you are out of the water. Matilda is safe. Killian is safe. What do you do?
Vincent's gonna look up because he realizes where we are, kind of based on like certain things that they talked about before. So he knows they're pretty close to the farm, and he's going to distance cast message towards Paka. So
Ooh.
240 feet away, and just be
Okay.
like, Parker, the well in the back behind the shed. Please drop a rope down.
You just hear. You can reply to this message as you hear from the side of your head.
Is this the dragonflies I ate? I'm sorry I ate you.
It sounds
I will
like
do your dying wish.
Oh, Paka. Oh, Paka.
Yeah, okay. As long as he's doing it, he's not gonna.
His little cinnamon bun.
Beautiful. And as you cast message out, anything with your movement, you can actually make it up to Matilda with your movement.
I will. Yeah, I'll just do that then. So 5, 10. Blue.
I just realized that. So Jojo, you still can totally kick off the rock if you want.
Okay, yeah. She'll be up there and she'll have like already started climbing maybe.
Okay, go ahead and roll athletics. Killian, you look around, you see a ladder to the side of you. And as we have exited this treacherous scene, you guys have been moving down those White Water Rapids for nearly 20 minutes. You are pruned, you are bruised, you are beaten. But you guys got here about twice as fast as you would have from taking the route above. You are certain that Seelan and Obi have not yet returned to the farm.
So we can kill their mom before they get home.
Blame it on the mobbits. At current, as you all
I was an
look around,
18 to climb up.
18, you hup, 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 hup. You've already managed this. And as you get to about halfway to the top, a rope hits the top of your head and slowly begins to drape down. And Paka's just like,
hello.
Hey.
Oh, hi.
Thanks, Paka.
You just hear,
Are you a dragonfly?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
he just leaves. Holding onto the rope on the other end, this buff ass half orc comes off to the other side, and you just see this little lizard holding onto the rope, bobbing back and forth, handling the weight.
Oh, really? Oh, cute.
I'm assuming Jojo will help.
Yeah.
pull us all
Jojo will
up.
help.
You all managed to make it up safely in that front.
Yeah, I'll peek over the corner and just be like, Killian, we don't know where that leads, right?
I hear them from there.
This is before I went up the rope.
Oh.
Yeah, then you can totally hear it.
No.
Hold on a second. We'll see if I can tell Parker to dig down. Maybe we can put a rope there.
Down the well. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can you climb sideways, Killian? To come over this way?
I don't want to go over the fire again.
Okay.
Hey, did Killian have one of the potions we just got from Corin?
Not on her. Vincent has the jewel and the other grader.
You have a mage hand though, right? You can grab it.
Oh, yeah. I guess. Yeah, I can't control Killian for some reason, but
I can also
It's
pop
'cause
my
it's
head
Vincent's
out
turn, but-
and cast a spell on and do healing light on.
Yeah, I think
just send my mage hand over to get something.
it the healing light would be better just for right now, because if someone drops with that has healing, then we can't get them back up without that potion.
Yeah.
All right, I'll cast a healing light then, and I'll poke my head out a little bit so I can see her.
Yeah, I'll come to the edge.
And then use my last 2. Should I use my last 2?
I'm
They
assuming
say
Killian
one.
looks pretty bad off, right?
Yeah.
It'd be up to you.
I'm well past bloodied.
Yeah, okay. Hold on.
Matilda, as you circle the corner and you begin to imbue Killian with this healing light. Killian, you feel some of those burns begin to dissipate, and a bit of succor for the rough situation that you have just found yourself living through. That's quite the story that you now hold.
I say, Thanks. And then I pull a couple feathers out of my mouth.
Oh, maybe you'll get the Lava Walker title. I feel like I've heard that's a title people get.
How many did you get? Just 5? Because I thought I rolled 2.
You did. The other one was a 4, but for some reason
9.
it didn't show up.
Yeah.
It was 9.
No, I got all the whole 9.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Whole 9 heals. Killian, directly to the south of you, you do see a ladder leading upwards to a trap door just a bit above. You can see it leads up quite a ways, but the ladder itself seems stable. And the rest of you within this small well, you begin to climb, and with Paka's aid, you all return to.
It does seem like geographically it should be under the shed, huh?
It does seem that way.
Mm-hmm. This might lead into the vault room.
You all climb back up to the farmhouse. Killian, do you climb the ladder though? Because I don't want to dictate that you did that.
Yes, I will. I will try to do so stealthily.
Okay, go ahead and roll. I will request a stealth check, or just roll it with the blind ninja icon, and it will be for me.
Should work. I have disadvantage because I'm armored.
I like how Matilda's icons are just slowly stacking up.
The false life.
So false. Such life. And
I'm just so dreamy.
Matilda. I can remove some of those false lives of yours.
I'm assuming, yeah, we make it to the top of the well and we'll pop out and start. Vincent just looks down. He's like scratched up. He's wet. He's just like, I've had better days. And he'll prestidigitation himself clean. He'll
Yeah,
look
we
towards
better get a
Jojo.
prepare for this mission.
And Matilda, do you want to stay wet? I wouldn't want to take that away from you.
No, I'll be dry.
I like
Nope.
stand out with my arms out, being like,
We'll
no,
prestidigitation
please.
them dry.
And as you guys are continuing your moistening or lack thereof, you see Killian on the inside. You push open that trapdoor, and you just hear the clattering of coins just rushing out of the way as you slam that trapdoor open, and you find yourself within a small hoard of gold, some gemstones, and several small magic items.
I'll send message out in the direction I thought Killian was, because I saw the ladder when we were in the water. Killian, are you in danger? Where are you?
No, I think this is probably the safest place you could be in this farm. It's the vault.
Oh, and I'll just Jojo standing behind me. I'll just point towards the wall. He's in the vault room. The ladder lit up there.
Is there? I mean, there wasn't a way to. Maybe you can open the door from the inside.
Can you open the door from the inside, Killian?
That's a great question. I go to the door.
You find a small, rotation lever. I'm forgetting the name of it, but as you look at it, you see these mechanisms that basically pull that wall that Jojo had dented off to the side.
Like a gear,
Yeah, like a gear-lined crank, and then you guys do hear that tick, 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 tick sound from the inside as the doorway opens and gold slowly begins to spatter out from the room.
Did you? Well, awfully pretty, but should probably deal with this after.
Yeah.
there are magic items in there. We could take those.
Yeah, if we knew what they did.
So,
But we don't have very much time before Obi and his dad come back.
Yeah.
Oh, what's our? Queria said that they would know that we didn't have much time because they would know that they were there. I don't. Can we?
Speaking from just a standpoint, the only reason that that Queria said that is that Seelan and Obi were heading back to the farm to say that there is a lady in the water. So she's like, as soon as
Gotcha.
until they get here, There is no real way that, as far as you know, this creature could respond.
Okay.
I'll
Except for hearing the well explode.
Also, I'll just give you guys this one as well. That creature that escaped, that Vincent managed to see, may
probably
have
was
played a
working
part
with
of
it.
that.
Yeah. We should hurry up.
Could I ask you, DM, do I know if an Arcana check would help me figure out what these magic items do, if they could be helpful in this current fight?
If they are somewhat common, you could have potentially read about them, especially considering you are proficient. You absolutely may roll this Arcana check.
While Jojo's going through this stuff, we'll talk, but I'll just wait till this rolls over. This time.
Oh, that's good. 22.
With a 22. There are several magic items here that seem somewhat useful. There is a relatively large catalog of magic items within the libraries in Amaranth, because obviously with the goddess of magic there is quite a lot of magic that goes on. But you do manage to find one that you feel like would be pretty useful in this instance. First off, you find 2 pairs of stones with the faces of humans upon them. A pair of sending stones.
Great.
Those are useful. And you also
I
find...
put one aggressively in Matilda's hand. Next time you feel like going off on your own. Speaking to this.
Let me scroll down here.
We will talk about this later when we're able to have a full discussion and talk about all our points and perspectives. Right now, that's not an option, so we'll have this discussion later.
You think I can't debate? I'll debate you.
And I need you to go ahead and roll a d6 for me, Jojo.
I think you can debate, but I also think you yell a lot.
4.
A
Yeah,
4?
I do.
You find a pair of gauntlets that you recognize as a pair of gauntlets of ogre power.
Oh, boy. Are those attunement? Do I know if they're attunement?
I think they are.
They are attunement, yes.
Do,
They bring your strength up to a 19.
What?
Holy shit. Do you guys mind if I have this? I don't think we'll be able to use this in this fight, but this would be great for me.
You tell us what they do.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
You find 2 other items, one of which you find 2 other items, both of which, one of which you recognize, the other one's a little bit confusing. You find a shard that is like just pulsating with this otherworldly chaotic energy. And you find a pair of goggles, well, not goggles, rather than spectacles with a gold rim that when you look through them, they're slightly like rose colored and they almost make you feel a little bubbly as you lean towards them. The goggles you recognize as Eyes of Charming.
Oh.
And the shard you do not recognize.
Eyes of Charming. That sounds like a Vincent item I have.
I want the shard.
The shard? Yeah, I have no idea what this is.
I have to figure out what they do.
Here, you can hold on to it.
I have my gloved hand. I'm not touching this thing with my skin, and I put it in my bag.
Just keep track of that one. Name it. Actually, Matilda, as you touch it, go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw.
What? I'm wearing this glove.
Are you wearing a glove? Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Then in that case, wisdom saving throw.
What?
I don't let that D&D cheat pass me by.
Come on. I do it because she handles hinky shit all the time. So my Mal and Pump will be like, never touch a thing with your bare hands.
An 8?
Yeah.
You immediately attune to this item.
Oh.
Interesting.
Oh.
What is it?
What does it do?
I am going to check it. One moment.
I just picture it looking like a tainted, like, Shikon jewel shard from Inuyasha. You know, like, they're usually white, but they're black. And
A little bit.
I can't believe you already gave me an item that makes my strength 19. That's wild.
You understand the nature of it, and as you attune to it, it locks itself onto you. You hear a voice in the back of your head be like,
what?
this will be nice. No, you recognize this voice.
Oh.
It is Mitra.
Oh.
It is a Feywild shard, and it is useless to you, because it can only be attuned by a sorcerer. However, it takes up an attunement slot. As you are now cursed and attached to this Feywild shard, Mitra is sitting there just kind of absorbing the essence of it and basking for a brief moment.
Fucking hell, and then I'm saying this out loud. Fucking hell, Mitra, you already have enough of my psyche. Can you just, like, not?
Oh, you don't have enough intelligence to go around. I'll borrow as much as I can.
Oh my god.
And I have one more item. I apologize for the delay. You do not recognize it. It is a small spanner. It looks like just a tool of some kind.
Oh, Killian, this one's for you.
Okay, what does it do?
I have no idea.
No idea.
All right, I grab it. Does it attune to me? Does it talk to me?
It does not attune. It does not talk. It does not attempt to eat your intelligence.
I put it in my backpack instead of my tool belt.
Okay. Vincent looks at the glasses and he's like, I don't know how useful this will be right now, but we can also.
Aren't you planning on seducing her or something?
I guess he looks at them. They're ungodly ugly.
As you reach forward and you take them in your hands, they shift. Magic items, in this world at the very least, for flavor purposes, do not always maintain. Basically, they look like they do with these round spectacles with like copper gold lenses, with like pink in the surface, because the last person who had wielded them wished them to look that way. So as you take these glasses, they begin to shift. What do you think they look like?
Oh, I wanted you to look like Ozzy Osbourne. That would have been hilarious.
They have to remain like spectacles?
Yeah, glasses or goggles.
Contact lenses.
Ooh.
I'm cool with that.
Are they colored or something?
They're like stardust. So like if like, the eyes have like sparkles in them, kind of. Or...
Oh my god.
Vincent Stardust. Cool. I like that.
Vincent's so anime. It's hilarious. I love it.
He's very Oron Host Club.
Yes,
I think we talked about Oron Host Club already.
Every time I see him, I just
we were talking about Jaeger and his fucking roses.
Yeah, just like Vincent gives me like I think it's the guy with the dark hair. What's his Akioya? But Jaeger gives me Tamaki vibes.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, is JoJo aware that there was like something hinky going on with the Jaeger shit, or is she just like, yeah, whatever?
You are actually entirely unsure. Like,
okay.
It just felt like you kind of lingered in your thoughts for longer than most people do.
Okay.
And as we sit here and we begin to look at this small horde in rapid succession, we'll take our break. And we will come back in 15 minutes.
Oh, sorry, never mind. I'll finish the thought later. Bye, guys.
No. Okay.
And to answer your question from before, Matilda, sorry. The only reason you really knew that you were cursed here was because the chaotic patron upon your shoulder had basically all but told you so. Otherwise, curses, you typically have no way of knowing that they're upon you. As you all find yourselves on the farm once more, what do you do?
So, Tamara, I'm not hearing you if you're talking.
Oh, I said that's what I meant. Like, she lives in my head, and she's like, oh, hey! And that's the only reason why I know.
So we got two options. We can either head up the road and intercept the Obi and his father, maybe try to take a rest and tell them to be a little bit patient, though the old man's gonna be pretty hard to convince.
That guy's impossible. Let's just fucking do it.
You could knock him out in time up.
I guess.
Or we could just try going in.
If we knock him out in time up, we're not gonna get our lifetime of soap.
Yeah, maybe once he come to his realization, but who knows what
I think we should try and get this done before they get home. Are you still wanting to try and seduce her before?
We might as well give it a try. I can try and bring her out. Maybe if you guys lie in waiting somewhere, give you some advantages.
Okay.
Ambush her.
I was kind of hoping that I could just sneak around in the house trying to get people out.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes, Killian, can you go upstairs and alert the visitors? There was 2 of them. If they're still there, they might be evade.
They might be evade.
They also had like weapons on them, so.
They were like weird around Killian before, right? I don't
One
like
of them was. The other was more open-minded. They were probably lured here by Quaria, right?
It didn't sound like it.
Yeah, you go ahead. I'm gonna try and look through some windows and stake the place out.
There's not a lot of windows. I noticed that about this house. Very weird.
You said just the top floor has no windows.
The top floor, for the most part, has very few windows. There are some, but very few. And the bottom floor has some windows, all of which have been closed since from before, when I believe Vincent attempted to charm Heb.
Vincent's gonna send a message to Paka as well. Get over here, little bud.
Wait a second. Heb crawled down from the second floor before, right? When he was trying to escape the house as a distraction?
He threw a bunch of just large stones into the side of the house in order to draw your guys' attention.
Okay, he wasn't like climbing down.
No, he was in the farm fields
Okay.
at the time.
If you guys want, I can send Heb a message. If I explain what's going on, he might be able to aid us from the inside.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if he's gonna cause a ruckus too. He's not gonna like let us. He thinks that that's his mom. He's not gonna let us try and kill his mom.
Again, I'll try to explain the situation.
Okay.
If and when we do want to do this ambush, where do we want to go?
By the fireplace might not be bad. That's just open.
Yeah.
Paka is here.
Hello, little
Hey,
bud.
Paco.
We have a small issue. We're gonna probably get into a fight soon, so stay alert.
Oh, okay.
I have a drawing for Paka, but I did not upload it yet. As you make your way up towards the house and you begin to send a message, you do not find Heb McGurmick in the house anywhere.
I'll send a message back to the group. Jojo, Heb's not in the house.
Oh shit. How about we just go in?
Okay.
I think we just gotta go to the top floor. I know that you were saying that's probably the lair, but
Okay. So Killian, we'll just assume Killian and Matilda are with us and Paka.
Lillian is in the process of taking off her scale mail, because if she's going to be sneaking around upstairs, she doesn't want
I don't think
disadvantage.
I don't think we're gonna go with that plan anymore. Jojo kind of just wants to
I mean,
bust in there.
I can be patient if you guys have other stuff you want to do. I'm just feeling antsy.
Okay, if we're gonna bust out, and she just starts putting back on the pieces that she's like unclasped.
Yeah, I think it's safe if you keep that on. Just let me give it a go. I can send you guys a message if I want you to come rushing in behind me.
Okay.
Give me like 5 minutes, and Vincent's not. He's gonna try and go up the door and just open it.
Make a dexterity saving throw.
The fairy's here, guys.
As the doorway opens, you see a small face sprite floating in midair that just reaches in towards you. And actually, not a dexterity saving throw. My apologies. I need a. This is an intelligence saving throw, please.
A 9.
A 9. On the inside of the room, you see this just massive beast appear in front, just tendrils and tentacles, just mouths on all different sides, dripping black liquid. Its mouth opens and just takes one huge chomp down towards you as you manage to hold back for a brief second, and the fairy kind of looks towards you, smiles, moves over into the house, and closes the door behind. The creature stands now in front of you, taking up the 10-foot space here, and slowly goes for more bites against you.
It looks like she just summoned some sort of demonic monster. Okay. It hasn't hurt Vincent yet, right?
Jojo, you look forward, you see nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Player-wise, I knew this was happening, but in Vincent's just like, he just like takes a step back and he's just like, you know, I like messing people with these things, but if you're actually going to bring one in here, Jojo, do you mind giving me a hand in dealing with that?
Yeah, I'll deal with it.
He'll point towards it.
Point towards nothing.
Yeah. Deal with what?
Is this thing like what is it doing so he reacts to it properly? So this isn't as awkward as it seeming to be.
It is just standing there at current, blocking the pathway forward. You see, basically,
It's a beautiful picture.
this just disgusting monstrosity of flesh
I can't seem to move Vincent. Is it because the game's paused?
Oh, yeah, let me unpause for you.
Thank you. He's just gonna take a step back behind Jojo. Yes, there's a giant, like, toothy mod creature that Fey creature just spawned in the room there. Please deal with it.
Okay. She's just gonna move forward and I guess, should I make some sort of check to see if I'm like, there's a creature, it's invisible, or do I know if Vincent's just...
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Vincent's just, he's Vincent.
You look in, and as you glean around looking for any kind of sign, the faint dust that is falling, the ash that is falling through everything, you do not spot anything that would attribute to a hidden monster or any kind of strangeness. You also don't see any traps or any kind of magic within the area that's immediately visible.
Vincent, it's not real.
Vincent's gonna squint at it. Do I have to do some sort of investigation check, or is that good
you have one more attempt at your intelligence saving throw. Jojo, you walk right in, and the creature kind of just moves aside and stares at you, all the eyes trained on Vincent as you pass it by.
I don't know what you meant by have one last attempt.
Intelligence saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, please and thank you. It's still there. Jojo walked past, it just let her pass and is focused entirely on you.
It's a racist demon.
Could I go past here and then open the door so that I'm like, behind it, so I'm sort of like shielded if there's like something blasting through the door?
Yeah, you open the door. Nothing happens.
Okay, guys, you can come in.
Are you sure about that?
Yep, I'm pretty sure. I'm fine.
Lillian steps forward.
Yeah, you don't see anything in the room.
May I join them in the house?
You can do what you want, love.
I guess.
I feel like there's something more going on here.
Vincent knows his spell, right?
So I'm sitting here being like, I know exactly what's going on, but I don't know.
If you fail to save, you 100% believe this thing to be real.
Yeah.
You rationalize any thoughts that might lead otherwise.
Okay, cool.
And Matilda, you continue into the house. As you look in, Matilda, you can actually see that pixie just kind of floating there, standing over top of the dining room table, looking at you.
Oh, the pixie's there?
It's just floating here, staring at you.
Vincent's
Anyone
gonna
else?
attempt to go in through the window over by the kitchen.
Fairy's just like...
Does anyone else see the little fairy?
Where? She's gonna pop in. Oh, yeah, I do.
Floats, goes to the other side. Meanwhile, Vincent, you can open this up. It will take a little bit. It'll be a little bit loud, but it's your choice.
This is awkward because the map's different than it was before. It's glitching out. I can't see, like, normally there was windows and now I can't see inside anymore.
You have to be underneath the tile that is the roof in order to see under.
Oh, okay.
You can see in. At current, there doesn't seem to be anybody in there. It will just be loud to open this window. Your choice.
Oh, but there's a door right here.
There is a door right there.
And you just open it?
Yeah, you go over to the door, you open it up, and you find yourself with an entryway into the kitchen. The fairy kind of just staying on the opposite side of the room as you all. Vincent, you move in through the area, and as you open up the other door into the living room, the fairy sees you and is just like,
You didn't like my friend?
No, I prefer better company.
Like me?
And who are you?
I am of no consequence. You do not need to worry about me. What you need to worry about is this.
she pulls a key out, holding onto it.
Mother wanted you to have this. But I don't.
She closes her hand and the key disappears.
What are you going to give me to get it? This leads to the basement, the real one.
Can I insight checker?
Roll insight.
Not only is she like lying about that, but whether or not she's trying to deceive us into thinking we need to go to the basement instead of like the top floor.
You are
5.
entirely unsure, one way or the other. She seems to be enjoying this whole thing. Even Vincent, that just mild inconvenience of having to go around, she's like fucking bubbling from that. And she's just like...
He'll go here and kind of lean against the wall. Well, if it's a deal or some sort of bargain that you want to strike for this, first we gotta know, what do you want?
Let me eat one of your fingers. One of you. Just one. You have nearly 40 of them to go around. Just one is not bad.
Now,
You can
see-
have the tip of one of my fingers, and I get to pick which one.
Flies around. Stares at you. You see her just like sharp teeth moving side to side in her jaws.
Which one?
Am I allowed to pick which one?
She just nods as she's staring down at your hand.
You say that shit out loud. So it's verbally binding. And I narrow my eyes at her.
You can choose one. Just the tip.
and in exchange, you'll give us the key.
Brings her hand, sees the key again, kind of reappear, like moving out of her palm.
And as well as you won't get in our way anymore.
Well, she can't promise that.
I want 2 bites.
No, because you haven't named terms for 2 bites.
I will leave you alone and give you the key.
I don't know the best idea. You don't really seem to like to listen to Mother. If it gets you what you want. So, our group's more about getting what we want. We don't have to listen to the rules of Mother. So how about I give you 1 bite, and then you help us, so you no longer have to follow Mother's rules anymore.
Roll persuasion.
I really hope I know what you're doing to scam this fairy.
What do you mean?
Oh, I just figured you probably have a hand in the bag somewhere that you're...
No, I'm giving her the
Oh,
tip of one of my fingers.
Okay, never mind then.
11.
Aw, darn. Oh, man.
2 bites and I will help you. I can give you knowledge.
Doesn't seem like a very good idea.
Knowledge for what?
I'll
It
give
leads you down
you...
the stairs.
I'll give you a tip of one of my fingers and a chomp out of one of my ears.
Deal.
I get to pick the ear.
Deal.
How big are these bites?
You can see her mouth, like the edge of the mouth kind of pulls back slightly, and as her mouth opens, gets relatively wide. She herself is only about this big, but the mouth opens up and the entire head kind of like moves aside, almost like this could flip almost 180 degrees open.
Present my pinky on my non-dominant hand, and I say, you can bite off to this part right here. If you bite off any more, the deal is done, and we will all team up on you and you will die.
Deal.
This is for you to give us the key.
She takes the key in hand, places it out.
I hold on to the key while I present her my pinky finger.
The teeth begin to like just a chainsaw, and as she lets go of the key, bites down, and you guys, you don't really feel much. It just feels hot for a second as it just and when you pull back, there's just 2 knuckles.
Yep.
She looks towards the side of your ears.
I do my non-dominant ear, and I like present it up like a piece of it to like make sure my fingers aren't in the way, but just how much I want her to bite off. So the top part of that.
Top or
Bottom
bottom
part.
side.
bottom side, because top side you need in order to put things on, like hats and glasses and stuff. Bottom part not so much. So she just looks sad, takes out the earring that's in her ear for a second. I can make another hole somewhere else, and I put that in my bag, and I hold it to the bottom earlobe so she can get like this bit right here, and I let her bite that.
Creature just all you hear is the sound, the buzzing sound of the teeth, and she spins around your head a few times. You can just see a little bit of blood on the mouth. Once again, she just looks towards the two of you, and she drops the key. It's so tiny in her hand, but as she drops it, it just grows slightly bigger. Lands safely in yours, and as she hovers around, follow me. Goes outside.
And I take the key. All right, come on, everybody, let's go.
Jojo's just looking at Matilda like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Paka's looking at Matilda like,
Are you okay? That bug just ate you. Bad dragonflies.
There's never a deal where you don't lose a little bit of yourself in the process, whether that's physical, spiritual, mental, or morally.
Oh no. Bad dragonflies.
he begins to rush outside.
As long
Vincent
as
just
you're
puts
okay
a hand on your shoulder and walks by, giving you a smile. Thank you, Matilda.
Joe, do we need to keep looking? Should I come after?
You think that they're trying to trick us or something?
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that entire encounter that we just had.
She is gonna be good on her word.
I don't think we should split up right now.
One,
Okay.
Killian, I know you're not very educated in the way of deals or in the way of fate. One, they don't have our full real name, so they really can't entirely command us to do anything, which is why you should always have a middle name, because unless they have your full name, you can't do everything too. If you sign a deal in bodily fluids, that means it's more binding. So she has my blood, she orally stated her demands, therefore the deal is more binding.
What if you
Doesn't
only
mean-
have one name?
What if you don't know your real name?
The pixie rushes over
I think
towards
we
you.
should have this
good
conversation
question.
another time.
Yeah. I'll ask my pom-pom that one about having like the name business. Because that's why I have a middle name.
Just to push forward a little bit, do you follow the pixie? As you see the key in your hand, looking down, you see the trapdoor that led down to the cellar. But the trapdoor itself, you can see that this key matches the copper lock that is currently on the trapdoor itself. That copper lock was not there before when you guys came.
Vincent's gonna look towards this pixie thing and be like, "What's your name, by the way?"
Oh, you don't need to know that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to share?
No. You can tell me your name.
Well, if you're not gonna share, I'm not gonna share either. I'm sorry, darling. I'll just call you the sweetheart for now.
She giggles.
I like this one. If you die, I'll keep you.
I feel so flattered. Thank you, darling. I mean, sweetheart.
Looking towards, you look down at this trapdoor. Place the key in the trapdoor, question mark.
Yes.
As you turn it, you can hear this like loud crunching sound underneath. And as you slowly open the trapdoor, you see just the solid stone, just ground, slowly begin to like melt away, like creating a small wind tunnel. And the wind itself pulls down towards you as though beckoning you to enter, as the stone gives way to a stone staircase as it forms in front of you and leads down, down, down into the dark.
Before we go down, who's less likely to be charmed out of all of us?
I don't know how to manipulate people. So probably can see it coming.
I mean, that book made me do stuff, so.
I was gonna cast heroism on Jojo.
Does that stop being charmed?
Feared.
Ah.
Still somewhat useful. But what I know about charms, and Vincent will smile at all of you, just try to hide your ears and eyes from the charmer.
Oh, relax, little Faye. That's a nickname. You didn't collect another name. You're so funny.
Also,
deception.
Oh.
Can I roll insight on the fairy when she looked at the thingy when the door opened? Does it seem like a trap, or does it feel more legit?
You may roll insight, absolutely. 14. The fairy is just paying attention to Killian now. Flies over it and just watches. 17. She does, though mischievous, does seem to be paying attention to the wording of what she's saying, and does seem to be, at the very least, telling the truth in this instance. Downstairs is where Mother wanted you guys to go, and she said she would help you, and she does seem to be willing to do so.
7. Is that what I got from the insight?
Yes. Also, Matilda, you took 6 points of damage from the previous bites. I was like, ooh, a little bit of body horror, but then again, I just describe gore all the time during battle, so.
Then what I would have done is I would have recast False Life because I would have had 1 hit point left. I would have been like, okay, I'm down. Let me redo that.
All good, all good.
Okay, I'll head in first then.
Parker, can you pass me a plate? One of the ones from my mess kit.
Plate.
How long does that last, Killian? I mean, kill.
1 minute.
Perfect. And Killian, you were going to say something else as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast heroism on Jojo.
Spark together your tools.
Okay.
Yeah. Vincent will prestidigitation the plate as clean as possible to try and make it as mirrored surfaced.
The fairy flies around to the front of you and kind of like hovers in place. You want to be very quiet. It's likely eating downstairs.
How much temp is that, 2?
It is 3 now. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just making sure. Did you guys hear me, or was I muted?
Yeah.
No, I
Okay.
heard.
Okay, cool. So I was
I
like,
think I started answering as you said it. Sorry.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I was talking out of character.
Yeah.
When I
don't think
look
we
at
can go down because of the way the map's working, but
the map actually takes you to another location.
oh god.
when
Are you guys being quiet as you descend this area?
Yeah.
Yep.
be very,
Group
very
stealth
quiet.
check, please, and thank you.
So I don't have a token in here, so all my stuff went away.
I will bring you guys in.
Remember to select the ninja token or the ninja roller.
Oh, it didn't work.
And it, for whatever reason, didn't work. That's weird.
Is that working for you guys?
Yeah.
When you roll and little box pop up, you can also select from the drop down, like blind roll and blah blah blah.
Oh, okay. I'll do that next time.
Yeah, may I ask something quickly?
Sure.
I wanted to know if I scrutinized this fairy. I wanted to be like, Mitra, who the fuck this little stupid bitch is?
Roll Feywild?
Wild nature?
It's wild nature. It's also kind of like arcana nature. Are you proficient in arcana and nature?
No.
No? Okay. You can go ahead and roll nature.
Okay. Boop. Oh, whoops.
That kind of works based on the information you're trying to pull from.
Mitra
It
stares
does.
and says, I do not know the name, but whatever she is, she has taken a piece of my property. I will find penance.
Oh, you treat me so good. And I just say that out loud.
The pixie looks at you just with like a quick glance and it just cocks its head. It has a human-esque shape when it is moving about normally, but the movements, and you've seen some of its true form as it begins to just like stare at you guys. The eyes slat and begin to like spin in place. It's very uncomfortable, the control that this creature has over its body. As you all find yourselves in a different basement.
So
that's totally cool. You guys can rearrange yourselves here. All upon the stairs. Jojo up front.
Yeah, I'll be up front.
And then Killian, you said you're in the back?
I was asking Matilda if she wanted to be in the back.
No.
Okay.
Just
Then
wait,
I'll be in
Vincent.
the
There are walls. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. So as you all look onwards, you enter in. This creature that is sitting here just begins to like... You can hear the sound of crunching glass as this creature that looks like it's made itself of glass is just chomping down. And as you all begin to move down the stone steps, one of the steps bends underneath your foot. And as you fall, some of you begin to slip and the creature turns around. No eyes, just this wide mouth full of just jutting, flat, crunching teeth and glass falling out of its mouth as the entire body formed of glass just turns its attention back towards the ground and continues chomping on these bottles that are just filled with this faint, bubbling liquid. In the distance beyond, everybody roll perception. The little pixie looks towards you and says, "We must go past you."
14.
14, 12, 15.
You said perception, yeah?
Liaz, and thank you.
Oh,
Killian.
frack.
As you look beyond the creature, you see this just solid stone wall completely encompasses all of you. But as you glance beyond, you can see a slightly wavering form of the wall, and as you peer beyond it, you see the wall itself give way and turn slightly transparent, leading through to a small hidden chamber.
I'll just kind of tug on Vincent's clothes and like point at the corner. And kind of like wiggle my fingers like this. I don't know if we are like if we can talk or not, because it said we need to be quiet. So
casting a spell for the verbal component of it. What do you roll to try and keep it quiet?
You would roll a stealth check
Okay.
to attempt to keep the verbal component quiet. Somatic would be sleight of hand.
Okay. Yeah, he'll start moving in that direction, which I keep colliding with the wall, so we can't. But and then he'll kind of tap Jojo and Matilda on their shoulders. And yeah, is there any way he can just like squeeze along the wall here, or does he need to go the other way?
You can certainly... Yeah, no, that's fine. You can kind of just skirt along here. The creature, as you begin to move forward towards, chomping down on glass, stops and just like...
Keeping an eye on its movements. When it's starting to look around, it's just gonna stop. It'll stop moving.
Digs back into the glass underneath.
And then I'll move when the glass noises start moving again.
Copy. Happening.
Is the fairy still following?
Right here, the creature stands up once more. Moves to the north just past you, Killian. This just glass body shattering and slowly pulling itself back into place as it reaches the second little area next. Turns and looks towards you, its mouth just guttural. It's just... Roll one perception check. Slams its head down into the glass and shatters the barrel underneath and just begins to chomp down once more.
So glad that creature didn't want part of my body.
No, man, it just wants its Nami glass.
From this point, you guys manage to psych. Wow. I was gonna say cycle, then I was gonna say siphon, then I was gonna say cyclophene, and then I was like, that might be a drug, and I don't know. But no, you guys managed to make your way through and past this creature that seems to have been heavily distracted. And as you pass by the wall, on the other side, it once again becomes solid. The wall still remains an illusion, just so you're aware. But the creature beyond does not seem capable of even seeing things. As you approach here, the fairy looks towards you and says,
I can help you. I have helped you. If you want more information, you'll have to pay more. I did not say I would do everything for you. But now I want clothing, armor. I'm jealous that you all get to wear such shiny metal.
Visit just rolls his eyes. He'll tap Paka on the shoulder. He's gonna whisper in his ear, "Check out my commoner's outfit for me, please."
hands it to you.
Oh, this too. And he'll give it over to her.
She like flies in.
Will you miss it? Do you like it? What is it to you?
Darling, I miss all my clothes.
You can roll persuasion with advantage because that's absolutely true.
I wouldn't say this is his favorite outfit, but Vincent would be perturbed if anyone took his stuff in general.
Natural 20, 25. Oh. She takes the clothing, and as she touches it, you see it shrink down to her size. And then she like throws it over her shoulder, not even wearing it. And she says, "Go up." Just stares at you. As you reach the top, Jojo, Vincent, you also go up. The pixie watches you, Killian, and just like keeps its eyes on you as you begin to ascend.
Jojo puts his hand down towards Killian on the ladder and is just like, "Wait, there's not enough room."
What?
There's not enough room.
Okay.
She pauses for a brief second. She's like, 1, 2, 3, and watch out. Jojo and Vincent, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
Danger sense?
Interesting. Currently, I'll let you roll perception to see whether or not you can see this effect.
So glad I took proficiency in perception.
Perception is heavily used, especially in my campaigns. A 10? I'll tell you what. I don't think you managed to spot this as 3 creatures burst out of the bottom of the lava, and you see this one massive just serpent, its body moving as though just the wisps of heat from flame. It lifts itself up out and just begins to unleash a line of flame towards the 3 of you. What was your dex save?
The 2 of us.
My dex save was only a 9.
Mine was a
9?
10.
Yours was a 10. Both of you are buffeted by this line of flame. And as the creature looks towards you and awaits to see the charred remains of the bodies in front, you guys both take 7 points of fire damage, and it's just kind of moving there rhythmically, staring at you, wondering why you are not small puddles of ash. It just attempts to go back down into the lava. Jojo, you are within range. You could make an attack of opportunity if you wish.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I will. Why not?
In that instance, as you rush forward, bring up your hammer. You got to slam it down on them. If it does not survive this,
7
hit. You bring that hammer down, but desperately attempting to keep from slamming into the lava, the thing hits down in and becomes once again invisible. You see these 2 large flies just holding onto the edge, looking down towards the 2 of you. That is initiative.
You see Vincent's, like, his clothing's not doing the best, but his skin and his horns and his eyes and everything just kind of like absorb the fire and incandesce it, and then he breathes out a little steam as he takes half damage from that.
Okay, initiative, you say?
Nice.
And Matilda?
I was thinking, I'm like, fucking little fairy bitch, what are we gonna do? I was like thinking,
The fire snake's held action has already gone off, and at the beginning of initiative, you see it coil itself up here, flies up towards you, Jojo, as it breaches the surface of the lava once more, looks in towards the two of you, and attempts a bite. The creatures all... Actually, one bite and one tail. Jojo, it goes for a bite attack against you, and in the same moment, swinging its body around, attempts to slam into Vincent with its tail. That does hit. Jojo, you manage to avoid the bite, holding onto the mouth and forcing it back as the tail whips around and hits Vincent for 7 bludgeoning.
That one, he does not absorb.
And at the end of the fire snake's turn, as it is now engaged with both of Killian and Jojo, looking up Killian, you can see Vincent kind of like at the trapdoor, just being slammed by something to the side. It is your turn.
I'm gonna push my way up. I guess I take up this space. And I'll take out my hand crossbow, which has the repeating shot infusion, and I'll shoot at this guy.
Okay. Go ahead and take that shot.
Target. Boop.
Then you roll. Yeah, beautiful. There. 9. I like to think that the repeating shot is literally like a crossbow bolts lined up, waiting to go in, like as though you have just a bandolier of bolts flying through the sky. But as you loose the bolt, another one readies itself, crossbow loads. You loose that thing, slams against the stone, misses the beetle.
Right. The ladder wasn't considered difficult terrain, right?
Climbing up the ladder was only about 10 feet of movement.
Okay.
Going through my space was.
Yeah, that was difficult terrain. So you still have 15 feet of movement on your turn.
Okay. Then as a bonus action, I'm gonna nimble escape and just kind of like dive through Vincent's legs again and start climbing back down the ladder out of the room after seeing the lava.
Vincent, this will also cycle you down. As you descend, Killian, you find yourself in an entirely different room. Vincent, you are still in that one room you were in previously. And you hear the laughing giggle of the pixie echoing through the halls as she said, "I said go up."
Okay.
You now find yourself in a stone chamber. You see a staircase off to the side. You recognize this chamber. It is the original basement that you would come down with Sealand.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's all my actions. So that's me for this round.
Alrighty. The beetles themselves move in and mindlessly. One takes a chomp towards Jojo. The other one attempts to grab onto you, Vincent. Moving in with an attempt to just stab into you guys and get that sweet, sweet life juice out of you. You both manage to get the creatures out of the way. Jojo, you just slam into them. And Vincent, what does a miss look like on you?
Depends. In this situation, he's gonna... he'd probably like use his tail to like distract them and like duck out of the way. Something like that.
Alrighty, yeah, just like a just slamming this bug out of the way. It reels backwards, and that is their turn. Paka looks on.
No. Tired of bugs.
Moves in, climbs up the ladder, off to the side, and just goes, tries to stab at this creature. It's just this tiny little lizard. Tiny little lizard with a poisoned dagger.
Where'd the pixie go? Is it gone?
No, it went upstairs.
Oh.
You see Paka run, jump, dagger into the center of this bug and just tear down the side of it as this like molten lava drips out from the center of the bug and it just slams onto the ground deceased.
Good job, Paka.
Yeah, I don't want to eat that one.
No,
that
I
is the
think
end
it
of
would give
Paka's
you
turn.
indigestion.
Heartburn.
You're up.
So I do see an up arrow here. Is there a way to go up, or is this just kind of a map issue?
As you look forward, you can see that there is a vine on the edge of the wall that is just resting along, that carries up the side of the wall in the distance. It goes up to a solid stone roof, but as you can see it going up, that seems to be a little bit of the tomfuckery of this place.
Okay. This bug. I need the bug to buzz off. I need it to roll a...
Vicious Mockery, Wisdom saving throw.
Only 1 damage, unfortunately.
As you look towards the bug and tell it to buzz off, the pocket's just like the bug explodes off to the side and bursts to death as the side of the wall is hit by molten lava, and slowly it just begins to drip down.
I'll wing towards Paka.
Paka gives you a big thumbs up and turns to Jojo and says, "I don't get it."
There's nowhere I can really go. If Vincent slides back down the ladder, it's probably not going to be good, right?
As you watched Killian descend, Killian just disappeared.
Okay, he's just going to stay here then.
Alrighty. Matilda, you're up. On the bottom, you saw Killian go up, you saw Killian begin to come down, and Killian disappeared.
Right. Go up. But I want to just go up enough so I can see, so I'm kind of like still on the ladder, but I can like kind of see the...
You can't occupy the same space as Vincent.
Oh, Vincent's on the ladder?
Yeah, you like poke your head up between his legs. But you have to end your turn off of his space.
Here?
Yeah, that works.
There is a giant salamander thing in front of you.
Yeah, I'm just like... And I like give a very... Can I see the pixie anywhere? Oh yeah, I see them.
Yeah,
I look at them very... I look very disdainfully at them. And I'm going to Eldritch Blast the shit out of this stupid, weird fire chicken lizard snake.
Blast the fire chicken.
Eldritch Blast.
It'd be a disadvantage.
You
Really?
are
Oh,
within
because it's
melee.
too close. Rude. Tank. Papa. Oh. The 10 hit?
With a 10, that does not hit. The creature slams into your fist as it sees the eldritch energy begin to crackle, and it flies off and disperses into the roof.
Well, shit. Like stare at the stupid pixie. You are no help.
I helped you. Jojo, you were up.
Jojo is gonna bring her hands into the air and sort of wave them in a circle, and she'll say these words like Umraika. And as she does, from her ash bond, it goes and this very much like her chaos magic is like the void and the cosmos within it, but lightning goes all the way down her arms. As she had blocked this bite, the lightning goes down her arms, and she casts Shocking Grasp into this salamander.
Alrighty, go ahead and make that touch attack. The energy moves down you.
Ooh, 22 to hit.
Ooh, 22 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is 5 lightning damage, and they cannot take reactions.
As you just hit this creature, it just lurches back and looks as it just begins to cook from the inside out. Looks like it's about to turn tail and run, literally. Looking back towards the lava, the creature is bloodied, and it is desperate to escape.
A 10-foot gap, right?
It is.
What does my strength score need to be able to do that jump? Does it have to be a long run jump?
You do need to move 10 feet on foot before doing a long jump, else it is just, I believe, half, or it is your strength modifier for a high jump and half your strength score for a long jump.
No, because then you would only be able to jump like a foot or two. I'm pretty sure that's the modifier.
For a high jump, yeah. When you make a high jump, 3 plus your strength mod if you move at least 10 feet. But if you make a long jump,
she's not trying to jump high, like that's vertically. She's trying to just jump.
When you make a standing long jump, you jump half your strength score. Yeah.
Half my strength score.
Otherwise, if you move 10 feet
7,
first,
so
you can move.
So can I go into like Paka's space and then do the run?
You need to move straight forward. This whole room is like it seems
So-
intentionally small.
I would need to go into Vincent's space and then run.
There is no reasonable way that you can move 10 feet straight in any direction except for towards the left wall.
Except for towards that wall. Okay. I guess she's just going to try and get out of people's way for now then.
All right,
Yep.
you shuffle off to the side. At the beginning of the next round, the fire snake is going to jump into the lava in an attempt to
Talk
make
of
an escape.
opportunity.
You both get one.
Yeah.
Both Matilda
Can
and
you
Vincent.
bring it back, please?
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, we should. I've been noticing this will like move, but we should like trigger the attacks of opportunity before we move the creature.
Cool. Ooh.
Are you allowed to Eldritch Blast as the like a
Only if you have the Warcaster feat.
Correct.
So can you cast spells as an opportunity attack? If not, you have to use a weapon.
Alrighty, let's.
I'm assuming an 18 hits.
18 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
6. As he
6
slices
damage?
it with his dagger.
Yeah, as it tries to get away, you slice it with your dagger. Straight up, its body opens, and you see the just blood begin to pour out of it as it slumps down, hits the side of the rock, and slowly drips into the lava, descending. And it is defeated. You find yourselves now out of combat. The strange nature of this area, you look at the lava, and it just seems to go down, down, down. No sign of that lava from the floor below you.
Vincent's gonna try to message Killian. Killian, are you there? I'm gonna go downwards.
Nothing. You try and go down the ladder?
No, I'm gonna face the message downwards.
Nothing.
Killian's no longer here. I'm assuming you have something to do with this, and I'll take it back towards the ferry.
No, Killian accidentally didn't follow the instructions, but this one was not very specific. I know your whole shtick is to be as vague as possible, but no, I want you to go get her and bring her back. Go get Killian and bring her here.
100 gold.
How about this? I will tell my Fae patron not to turn you into little taxidermy pixie that I can put on my fireplace.
What is its
She-
name? Prove it, prove it, prove it. You must have
Her
a name.
Can I tell her your name? I ask in my head. Is this a
Hmm,
good?
Of course. What can a pixie do to me?
Uh-oh.
What a... You know, names hold a lot of power, so I'm not gonna do that. But I think you'll look really pretty on my mantle, regardless. But 50 gold.
Deal.
Hmm?
Deal.
I know. I'm asking the party. What do you think, everybody?
Yeah.
All good? Okay. Cool. Go get her and bring her right here. Safe and sound. Not dead, not in pieces. I want her a whole, healthy person.
And
here
not
with
landing
us.
in lava.
Yeah.
No fun. The just begins to descend, and you hear the sound of the wings just disappear as they appear before you, Killian, holding like a small spattering of gold pieces. She moves over to the side here and takes the gold and just places it down on top of this wine barrel. And just pats it a few times and says, "Follow me."
Okay.
Well, she's off getting Killian. What are we gonna do about this? Taka, do you have anything in your bag that could build us a bridge?
On the other side, Killian, you find yourself back at the entrance with that glass creature that has been shuffling around and is continuing to eat.
Right.
Um,
It's further up this time.
It's a little bit further up this time. Go ahead and make a stealth check.
We did specify she needed to come back perfectly healthy.
Ninja roll.
I didn't say she
Stealth.
couldn't get beat up a little bit first.
10. I will roll perception for the creature. Oh, sorry. I should not have said. All right. You begin to move. Shuffling forward, the creature looks towards you and takes a step over. Do you continue moving or do you stand there?
No, I stay still.
You see the pixie flutter forward, give a brief smile and says, "Don't let him touch you." Shuffles back inside. Creature continues moving directly towards you.
Can I take just like a tool from my belt and like toss it like over my shoulder in this direction?
You grab that, you throw it. Roll persuasion in this instance, because as you toss this thing, it seems to be somewhat aware of your existence and is slowly moving towards you. 10. Moves over as it hears the clattering of the glass to the north. It moves in and is just like, "Fine!" Slams its fist down into the glass and it shatters outward. The wood buckles, but you have enough time to manage to siphon your way through as the creature moves over here and it's just like, is now on the lookout throughout the area, actively searching for what it was that made these noises.
Mm.
And as you circle through and past, she says, "Just up, no down. Down does not exist for us here."
Okay.
As you go up, Killian returns, the pixie returns, no gold pieces in hand, and says, "It's easy," and just flies across. "Come on up." Flies through.
Taka, any miniature bridges in there?
I have rope. 60 whole feet.
Yeah, I don't know how. I guess we could do a couple passes.
He
Who feels confident in the...
climbs across the wall to the other side.
This'll work. Taka, do you want to go back and forth a couple times? Make like a little rope bridge?
It will take him probably 5 to 10 minutes to accomplish this. If you guys want, this
Is the
is a
rope-
method forward.
Is the rope gonna burn?
He only has 60 feet of rope, so it's 15 feet across to safely do it. So he basically makes 4 individual little rope strands is what he can accomplish. And
Can't
you guys
Jojo-
will have
I
Go
fit
for
in your
that.
bag.
Can Jojo just throw us?
There's a good chance we might still go in.
If
Yep,
I had
land
these
on the
gauntlets
side.
attuned, I would say yeah, but like this is probably safer.
Yeah, Vincent, like, he'll go over and test the ropes and kind of pull on them. Do they feel somewhat sturdy?
As he goes to one side, he is using basically these climbing pythons that he has. He is slamming them into the ground on one side. He's going to the other.
Yeah.
And he was basically back and forth. Makes a zipper of 4 different ropes. I will roll a d20 for him to see how effective he did this. And you can roll survival to see how good the bridge
I
is.
give him guidance.
Guidance, okay.
Need guidance. Each time. Boop, 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 boop.
This is his best attempt. Survival with a 4. You're not familiar with this kind of thing, but it looks pretty sturdy. And as Paka himself like begins to just like, you hear the rope creaking as he walks over the lava, he makes it to the other side. He's like, see?
We've now turned in.
Will tentatively take a step on, and he's gonna test it. Like, stop putting weight on. So if it does cave, he can at least try and jump back.
You hear the creaking of the rope. Just boom, boom. Listen to it resounding out. Seems solid.
Okay. And he'll go across it then. I'll try him.
As you move across the rope, you get 5 feet. Continue moving. You
Do
get
we
10
really
feet.
need to?
And 15 feet across. You make it all the way through. You and Paka are taking up basically the entire space. But
Yeah,
Paka's like,
he'll be stealthy about it and be like, guys, I'm gonna have to go up for you to come over, so wish me luck.
Luck.
He's trying to be stealthy about this. He's climbing
Vincent-
up the vine.
okay. Go ahead and roll stealth.
Don't die. Carrying your body out will be really difficult.
As you guys look on, Vincent crosses, gets to the top, continues to climb up. You see the rope itself begin to fray from the heat underneath it. Slowly turning slightly more black, but still solid.
Okay, you guys go first.
Matilda can go.
Go across the rope.
Paka also climbs up alongside Vincent.
I don't even say anything. I just put my hand against my mouth. Be quiet.
Matilda, you cross the rope. 15 feet across, you can hear the faint boom, boom, little bit of snapping from the rope, but still solid. You managed to get all the way through. Do you also move stealthily through this area?
I do.
Go ahead and make a stealth check. But however, Vincent, as you get to the top, you see this little trapdoor. You attempt to open it quietly. And as it reaches the zenith, where it stops for a second, you climb in, and then it, boom, slams backwards as you close your eyes for a brief moment. A small creature on the bed's just like, who's that? What are you doing? Looks up, and he's like, is that you, Ty? And then she just grabs his face. Shut up.
Can I try and see if I caught that?
Roll perception. Meanwhile, downstairs, who's
Did I
next?
hear that too?
You can also roll perception.
17.
17.
It's like tie something.
Ty something. You did manage to hear that. He did not manage to finish the name. She did stop him in time. But you know her name is Ty something. And Matilda, you also heard this. Downstairs, who is the next to cross the rope?
You okay, Kill?
I wasn't afraid of lava before today.
I'm gonna climb these rocks. I don't think that rope's gonna hold me. I don't think the rope's gonna last a lot longer, though, either.
Okay. Here I go, and I'll just run it.
You run it?
Yeah.
She's also light.
Am I able to help in any way? Can I do my coach help action again?
As you call out for aid, in this instance, Killian, you muster up that bit of courage. What do you yell out to Killian?
Yeah.
I just continue with the power
Yay!
check that I
Love
did
it.
when she succeeded on the last one.
Killian pushing forward with that. As you reach the other side, the ropes boom, 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 continue to fray, still holding on. And Jojo looking at them now, your best bet is probably to go around as Killian. You climb up the ladder. You see this figure, this little imp-like creature with this just onyx skin, very like saggy and soft looking, covered in boils, is looking over towards you, long mouth, and just like, oh, don't hurt me, please. I don't want nothing to do with this. Just pulls itself underneath the covers. You can't see me anymore.
Do you and Ty hang out a lot?
Pixie looks towards you and is like, meanwhile, Jojo, Make athletics to attempt to crawl across these stones.
Ooh, yes.
Continuing your chant for yourself.
You didn't see the roll, but it was like 3, 3, 3, 19 for me. I was like, oh,
With the one on my when I crossed.
It was a 1 on my
I
screen.
saw
oh
that.
no.
Siphoning
It
your
bothers
way
me
through.
we don't all get the same roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it just generates it, I guess. Siphoning your way through and across the stones, you manage to safely get to the other side as the rope still holding on, subtracting just a little bit of fire for each round. Paka seems to do quite a good job.
Yeah.
But as you are climbing up, it burns away. You lose those pythons and the 60 feet of coiled rope.
I need to
as
buy
you
more rope.
all
I'm
hit the
assuming
top.
That was mine.
Roll a d4 to see whose it was. Who had rope?
I was the only one that gave Paka stuff, unless you guys did, but I specifically loaded him up with things.
Then yes, that was your pythons, your rope. As Jojo, you reach the top, you just see a bed, and around you these wooden, natural-looking bark wall that is bent to match the same texture and shape as the tower that you had been ascending. And as you reach the top, you can see these glowing little bulbs of naturalistic wooden sticks and a fine bed with a lump in it that's like, "You can't see me. Go away. Leave me alone."
We don't want to hurt you. Do you want to chit chat? You seem to be stuck out here by yourself. Don't you feel lonely?
No, I don't like people.
Do you like mother?
Mother said to stop people, but I don't like them.
Like mother?
Mother feeds me. Mother's good.
We can feed you.
You're good then.
Slowly a head begins to peek out, and you see this creature, solid white eyes, body like dripping with this light purple liquid.
What do you
Looks
eat?
at you with jagged teeth.
I can eat most anything, really.
Paka, Vincent will place his hand out. Pass me one of my rations.
Paka's like, okay. Pulls out a bit of food, and it's just like, brings his hands together and forms this sticky liquid, and he's like,
Don't try anything strange.
It's just food. Vincent will hold on to it.
shuffles out of the bed and hobbles over. Reaches
Here,
up to grab it.
I'll give you this if you give us some information.
What do you want?
Where's Mother?
She's at home. Mother likes home.
And where's home?
Through one door and no more.
He'll point to the door. Is it that one?
That's a door.
If you keep playing these games, then you're not going to get a lot of food, are you?
You hear his stomach like... Roll persuasion with advantage.
Can I try and figure out if one door no more is basically like we've already gone the wrong way?
Go ahead and roll investigation.
15.
The group investigation or just Jojo?
This one will just be Jojo.
Only 9.
He approaches the door, and he goes to open it at the same time as he's reaching for the food, Vincent, and he's just like,
You can go through this door here. This one leads in.
Jojo, with a 9, you look towards him. You're not 100% sure. Considering the pathway that you've been going and like the constant progress, you ascertain you're not currently going the wrong way, but you cannot glean much more insight into what he has said.
We haven't gone through a door yet. We've only gone through like trap doors and like up a vine. So
That is correct.
basically he's saying go through this door and then don't go through any other doors.
Pops it open, and you can see some light coming in from the inside, and he goes to snatch the food out of your hands, Vincent.
Vincent
allow
will, like, as he's going to go give it to him, he wants to look at Ty. She was there. Did you move her on purpose?
No, she waves a hand, and you see this faint glittering light surround her before she disappears completely.
Was she there when we made the deal? I just wanted to read her. I wanted to insight check her if she was like happy about this deal or if she was just like, oh.
She disappeared shortly after the creature jumped out of the bed and began to shuffle towards you. She dissipated. You're not sure if she's still here or not.
I'll hand him the ration.
He takes it, and you see the sticky oil in his hand. He just pulls the top of this small ration off and just begins to like.
There's no food here. He's gone.
It's because you
I'm
ate
so
it.
hungry.
Yeah, there was food there. You're 100% certain of that.
EIRL.
Do you mind moving out of the way?
He just moves over here and kind of sits down on the edge of this small bench. Just looks back.
Vincent's going to take his plate and kind of place it around the door, get a view of the room. He's tired of sticking his head in places and getting blown up.
Okay, interesting. So as you glance through the reflection, looking down the area, you can see 3 creatures in the reflection of the plate. But as you glance down, or as Paka at the very least looks down, he does not seem to react to any of them. All 3 of them are sitting on these glowing branches, and similarly to the pixie you had dealt with before, there's a differently dressed pixie and 2 male-looking sprites that are feeding on these glowing plants.
Ty, are these friends of yours? So she doesn't come back, I'm assuming.
She does not respond.
I'm not sure why. Paka, do you see the little fairies in the room?
Turns around.
No. No fairlies.
Maybe they're only visible in the reflection. They seem to be feeding on the plants, and I'll point the one in this room.
You hear the creature say,
Just don't touch the plants and you'll be fine.
Thanks.
continues to just cry, moves his way towards the bed, and once again lays down in the covers.
Oh, you poor dear, you know. Mother doesn't take very good care of you, it seems. They always leave you hungry.
Oh,
Doesn't seem like much of a mother to me.
So hungry. Mother, why?
He's
As this
more like
cries
a
continue.
jailer.
Mother.
Roll persuasion.
Jojo, do you mind checking it out? Just don't touch the
Yeah,
plant.
sure.
You know, the wonderful thing about mothers and people in general, they're usually pretty edible.
Mother's not edible.
Oh,
You could
sure?
not even get a bite.
Sure.
Mother's too big. Mother's too scary.
I mean, if she's so big, she wouldn't miss just a piece. And I show him on my finger. That's missing a piece.
He just looks at you and just shuffles himself back under the covers and says,
Leave me alone now. When I sleep, I'm not hungry.
Paka's like,
Oh. I'm sorry. I'll bring you food sometime.
and turns and walks his way out.
Okay.
As you move through, Jojo, the creatures do not react. You can see they look humanoid, but their mouths kind of like torn open. Those teeth just jutting and jagged, grabbing into these light bulbs and are sucking the energy out of them.
Is it possible for me to go through here without touching them? Because I know I can go into this space, and then this space is sort of touching some.
As you actually see, there's this faint kind of glowing light, like specks, like fireflies that are dancing around these creatures. If you move here, 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 and through, you can absolutely get there safely without having moved into any of those spaces.
What's this?
It won't allow me to move diagonally, Adrian, because of I'm colliding with walls.
I'll shuffle you through. Safely, you guys can just move in and through, having known the pattern, so it's all good. And Paka joins you as well. As the doorway behind slowly closes and locks, the sprites that are feeding on the plants remain inactive. And Jojo, as you... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, it appears we've encountered a dead end.
what did she say? Go up, and then one door, no more. What's this deal?
There is a door built into the side of the stone.
Not that way.
Is there a way to get through a door without going through a door, though?
Jojo looks up.
You stare up, you just see the stone roof kind of encapsulating you. You find yourself at a dead end. It is a nice park-lit scene. And as you see a park bench, a small cabinet off to the north, a fine little area of grape bushes, and what you were looking at before, Jojo, is a small basket of chestnuts.
Okay.
Don't eat the food.
Jojo, could you rip the door off?
I'm gonna look in here first. She opens the cabinet.
You pop it open. There is nothing inside, completely empty.
She puts her arm to try and touch the back of it.
You press against the back, and you kind of like push in solid wood up against the stone.
If she like sort of like pulls it off the wall a little bit, is there like a hole behind it?
As you attempt to pull it, yeah, you jut it back a little bit. You can see behind it, solid stone against wooden cabinet.
Okay.
Is there anything behind the grape bushes?
As you approach the grape bushes, you hear the sound of these faint wings on the inside of the grapes, almost in a defensive kind of like...
Won't touch the grapes if you don't want me to, but I want to know if there's a door behind there, I say in Sylvan.
You hear two voices echoing out. You, don't, want, these.
Nope.
Go, now.
Hey. You're so annoying. This is why I only deal with pop in small doses.
Could I do like a general investigation check? Is this fire hot? Is there something behind this? Are the chestnuts real?
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation. As you find yourself in the room and you are beginning to look around, trying to find any clues that you can manage.
14?
With a 14, you begin to move around, and as you reach forward to attempt to see if the fire is hot, it is not hot. And as you glean into the fire, you can see in the base of it more chestnuts that are sitting within the flames at the base. Looking about and around the room with a 14 investigation, as you move to the south, you see a slight wavering in the stone wall to the south of you. More illusory walls. The 14, you manage to see through the illusion, and beyond it, you see two figures sitting at a dining room table. A drow woman and a human man who are just staring down at the empty table, faces just gaunt, just skin to bone. And as they are sitting there staring down at a strawberry-shaped cookie jar, slowly, one by one, they reach their hands in, pull out nothing, and go... and continue to just stare forward as they take turns reaching in and devouring open air. And as these two figures stare blankly towards the food that they believe to be, that is where we will pick up next time.
No!
Welcome to Grimm's Fairy Tales, Faye, where everything's messed up.
Fucking love it.
As
I
you
was
are
not expecting multiple dungeons in the same day.
looking around as you glean towards the edge of this strange happening, you feel pretty close. You feel like there can't be that much more to this strange demi-plane that you seem to have found yourself in.
We got some good magic items this session, though. I'm so pumped about these ogre strength. Ogre power? What are they called?
Gauntlets of ogre power.
Yeah. So bad.
As we cycle through to the next week of fine gameplay, thank you all once again for joining us, and we can't wait to see you next time at the Dragonleaf. Have a good week, everybody, and see you next Tuesday.
Bye.
See you later,
everybody.
See you.